We fly into Spa and we're greeted with the usual Spa weather.
It was atrocious conditions. I mean, it really was shocking.
Spa is often a pretty challenging track because of the weather. You know, it can be raining on one half of the track and dry on the other. I love it, actually. I love Spa. And Michael used to love Spa. You know, it was where he started his Formula One career.
This is the worst start for a Grand Prix that I have ever seen in the whole of my life.
It's like you're driving with your eyes closed in a fog. You just couldn't see anything. I couldn't see 2 meters ahead of my car. When I saw it, car was crashing all over the place. I tried to stop. I couldn't stop because it's too wet, and just hit all of them.
Coulthard came off the wide part of the track, and there's like a metal railing there, and there's no grip, and he just lost it, went into the wall, and then I slowed down to avoid hitting him, and people just kept hitting me.
I was right behind David Coulthard, and he hit a drain or a bump in the road, and it flipped him round into the wall, and I had to decide whether I was going to go for the rebound, try and get past him on the rebound, or try and go through the gap where he's going to leave when he... I can't remember what I did, but it was carnage. I mean, it was absolute carnage.
I was so careful, I was so concentrated to escape from other cars, and I was just lucky.
I hadn't made a good start, so it was a good thing we had a restart. But it was an hour after I was sitting in the car, so basically I was dying for a pee, but I didn't want to get out. I just sat in the car for a whole hour. I was freezing.
When you start a race in the lead in the wet, you look in your mirrors and all you can see is spray. So the people behind can't see, but you can't see who's behind you either. So all I knew was I was going off like a cat out of hell and trying to get as much of a gap as I could on the opening laps, and I had no idea what was happening behind me. Well, of course, driving in those perilous conditions, it's a strange mixture of being terrified and at the same time exhilarated. And I think those two things combine to make you focus and concentrate in a way that you wouldn't ordinarily do, is what racing drivers really love doing. I like driving in the wet. I like the car moving. I like to be able to feel it sliding around and looking for the traction.
Michael was just superlative in the wet. He was on a different planet to everyone else. He was dominating the race completely.
Oh, God! Michael Schumacher hits David Coulthard and is out of the Belgian Grand Prix. Maybe he should have been a bit more circumspect about trying to pass him, but he is out.
It ended, unfortunately, with a clash with Coulthard. And I think the frustration was not so much the accident happening then, but in our view, there had been opportunities for McLaren to strike Coulthard to let Michael pass on other parts of the track, which would have been logical, safe, and easy to do. And instead, they just thought they'd irritate us a bit, I'm sure, and they'd just prod us a little bit. And Michael was lapping Coulthard. It was a non-event, really. And then David had instructions, and he finally backed off in the middle of the corner, which was disastrous. And that's why Michael was so upset, because it was a manoeuvre in a corner he didn't expect. There'd been opportunities before for Michael to go past. He was lapping a car. We can all say he should have backed off and sort of done it at another spot, but you don't expect a driver to back off in the middle of a corner.
It was unfortunate. I could see why Michael was unhappy. I know David's rationale, which was, right, I'm in trouble. I think I'm safer staying here on the racing line where people would expect to find me.
It's easy to assume that Michael was just angry at David Coulthard for doing something deliberate, but I don't think David was doing anything deliberately at all. I think he perhaps could have been a little bit off the line.
I have this image of him running down the pit lane when Stefano Domenicali chasing him. He got so irate and wanted to flatten David. Emotions were running high that day.
I went to him and asked him whether he wanted to kill me, because that is a very, very dangerous maneuver. It has been done, and as experienced as David is, he should know that running in this condition, you should never lift on the straight without giving any kind of chance for the driver behind to see that. Instead of being 3 points in front, we're 7 points behind. That's very disappointing.
He's run in the back of me, and I think his accusations of me trying to, drive him off circuit, whatever, are just ridiculous. His words there were, "Were you trying to kill me?" And I think that is disgusting behaviour for someone who's got such a good record in terms of his Formula One career. To drop into such an animalistic type aggression is mind-boggling. If Michael wants to discuss with me man-to-man the incident, then I'm more than happy to discuss it, and I sympathise with the fact that he's lost his 10 points, and that was not his intention, of course, and it wasn't my intention. But to have this sort of outburst is very worrying for everyone on the circuit. And he's made the mistake, not me.
I was David's manager. So when I was commentating and saw Michael trying to punch him, I was probably thinking, "Don't damage my client." I don't know who'd have won that fight if they'd have got going. It would have been quite a good fight to watch, actually.
During the race, I had a big crash because Nakano was going into the pit. There was no visibility at all. And the braking point for the pits was much earlier, a few years ago, so he braked quite a lot, and I was still on full throttle position, and I crashed into his car. It was a bad accident. Yeah.
Michael is out. Michael is out. You're leading the race. You're leading the race. Michael is out.
Not having been able to command a team before in my life, I thought now's the time to try and ask Eddie Jordan if he didn't mind, please, just having a word with the guy behind me, who happened to be my teammate, to make sure that he didn't do anything stupid and that would lead to neither of us finishing, when we could both have a 1-2.
You cannot overtake Damon. Okay, that is team order. You cannot overtake Damon. You heard me before, didn't you, Ralph, about overtaking Damon? You heard that, didn't you? Ralph, acknowledge. Yes, Sam.
Eddie came back with, OK, he's going to stay second place and stuff. I just thought, he's not going to obey team orders, forget it. I legged it, and he couldn't catch me, and Ralph had to stay ahead of John Lacey anyway, so...
I think we were all going flat out.
And Damon Hill wins in Belgium. Fantastic!
We got a 1-2.
Eddie was ecstatic, the team were ecstatic. All the people that come from the factory went away having watched their team win the race. Nobody expected a Jordan to win a Grand Prix. It was one of my most satisfying victories, if not the most satisfying victory, actually, in some ways, because it was so difficult.
That was a fantastic day. It was a great team effort, and to think that we finished first and second in the race here at Spa, it's a very big day. Damon has won before, and this was a race that possibly Ralph felt that he had a chance to win, but he had to understand that it was better to defend the position with Alessi gaining on us or whatever. So from that point of view, Both drivers did a stunning job. Damon knows how to win, and he was just so happy for the team because he will always be in history as winning 22 Grand Prix, but he'll be in history for being Jordan's first winner.
If you add in the hour delay and the time before the first start, I think I was in the car for about 4 hours. So when I got out and I stood on the podium, I was trying to do my victory leap. Part of me was thinking, oh my God, I don't think I could do that again. Really, seriously, that sucked out quite a lot out of me.
Extraordinary stories on Sky Documentaries, powered by Jaguar.